Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Just for Sport with Jumoke. That's me. Another show this morning. I hope you're doing well. I am doing well on this Thursday morning. We got a lot to talk about today. And for the most part, it's just going to be you and me. Haley's comments, she's still orbiting around the earth, but she'll be back with us. She sent me some topics. She's like, Jumoke, these are some hot topics that we've got to talk about. So I'm looking forward to talking about those. Of course, this is also a podcast. Thank you very much for anybody who has supported us on the Props Network and my Just for Sport podcast. I will have Mati Ajavan, former WNBA player. She will be on the podcast version. So if you like podcasts, please download Just for Sport, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, and all those other things. Please leave a review, listen, and hope you enjoy Mati talking WNBA playoffs, WNBA finals, and NBA finals, and what she's up to these days. We go way back. She used to be a Washington Mystic. So I got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk some, of course, NBA finals, as game one was last night between the Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball playoffs. We've got some NFL with their postponement of the game between the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've got some hot takes on that and more. So let's jump right into it, okay, folks? Thank you very much for those of you that are watching on our Stitcher Live stream on the Props Network, YouTube, Facebook. I'm going to be doing this every Thursday morning, and I hope you, over the course of time, that we grow together. And after a while, we'll have a big following, and I'll be able to chat with you. We've got a chat box open, so if you've got any hot topics or questions for me, throw them at me, and I will fit them in as they fit into a topic. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is, of course, the NBA Finals. I mean, oh my gosh, what a first game. You know what? Come on. None of us wanted it to be this way. It was so sad the way the NBA Finals started. After Tuesday, Joel and I were jumping on here on the Props Network and talking about how the Heat could win. What the Lakers will do in order to win, but that we both thought that the games would be closer, frankly. We thought they would be closer, and yet the Los Angeles Lakers took out the broom early. It was funny. Joel was joking that if the Heat win game one, the Lakers may say, I'll just take the championship. We're going home. But no, the Lakers did the complete opposite in beating the Miami Heat 116-98. It really wasn't even a game. I mean, that's how bad it was. I mean, my man, Anthony Davis, my namesake, as I like to say, I mean, he just rolled through the game. I mean, how could I not be happy for Davis, right? 34 points in his finals debut. First NBA Finals as a Los Angeles Laker. And realistically, we know that's why the GM, LeBron James, the coach, LeBron James, brought him in here. No, it's not, Rob Pelinka. It's not Frank Vogel. It's LeBron James. He runs the Los Angeles Lakers franchise now. And he said, you know what? I want Anthony Davis. Rich Paul almost messed that up for the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron the first go round. So unfortunately, it kind of, messed up the process, but they ended up getting Anthony Davis. And it proved that, we need Anthony Davis to win it. LeBron James on the older side. He needs someone who can come in who's really a superstar, one of the top 5 players in the NBA to come in here and help him win a championship. And that's what they proved in game one, that, this probably is the type of player that we need in an Anthony Davis because he can complement LeBron James. He's a bigger player. And, they didn't just win game one. I mean, it's crazy to think that at one point they had, a 30-point lead. Like they were just cruising. And, it's frankly, the sad part is that you don't mind that they win a game like this, but then you look back on it, they were leading by as many as 32 points. It's like, this isn't an NBA Finals game you want to see. It's a yawner in my book. I'm sure for Laker Nation, they're, jumping up for joy. But this isn't good drama. It's not the kind of basketball that makes you want to tune in. People are tuning out from watching this game unless you're a Lakers fan. Those are the only people that are watching when you're up by 32. I don't know. Like, I'm not a greatness kind of a guy that I'm going to just watch it because I'm saying, ooh, I'm watching greatness. This is exciting basketball. No, it's boring. I was more excited in the first quarter when the Heat jumped out to a 13-point lead because I'm like, okay, maybe we got a team that can challenge the Lakers. We talked about it on Tuesday, Joel and I, that you have Anthony Davis and LeBron James as the top two players. If you had to take both of these rosters and put them together and rank the players. After that, it was 5 or 6 Heat players that we were picking. And it's a shame because I feel like where's Danny Green been? Maybe he would have jumped in there, but no. We had Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero on there, Goran Dragic. And then you could start to maybe go to the Los Angeles Lakers players as, some of the players that, could rank in that top 10 list. But the more well-rounded team, the team with the pedigree, the team with the more recent history of showing that they can win a championship, and the organization from the top down is built that way. Of course, LeBron James used to be on a few of those teams. But, that's what I thought we would see is a Miami Heat, coming out with a barrage of three-pointers and just really pelting the Los Angeles Lakers from deep. And yet it was the Lakers who hit 15 three-pointers. 15 three-pointers. Danny Green, who I feel like, where was he in the rest of the game? I don't know where he was. I just don't know. And yet here he was finally. Jimmy Butler hits him in the mouth, in the teeth. Maybe that wakes him up. He ends up scoring, having 11 points, 3 of 8 from 3. LeBron James, had a quiet game, but I feel like, I don't know if any of his games are quiet, but for some reason, it seems like, he'll hit a 3 here, a big dunk there, 25 points, which is good. 13 rebounds, 1 assist shy of a triple-double. But it was really, in my mind, the team. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, 13 points. Alex Caruso, 10 points. Keith Morris, when I talked about in Tuesday's show about how there were players I was rooting for in the Lakers because of my history with them, JaVale McGee, we go way back. We were on YouTube before YouTube was YouTube. We were doing videos, little social media hits and viral videos. And then obviously Quinn Cook, who only played a minute, but he's from the DMV, so I'm rooting for him. But Keith Morris, former Washington Wizard, family over everything. If anybody knows what that means, Keith Morris has his own line. I've got some family over everything gear. Maybe I'll wear it one of these days. But rooting for him, he had 8 points, 3 of 6 from the field. They just played magnificent, and I just didn't expect that. And on the flip side, for the Miami Heat, I'm really concerned about the injuries to, Bam Adebayo hurt his shoulder in the game. Goran Dragic turns an ankle. That's not good. That's not good for the Heat looking forward. Jimmy Butler played well, 23 points. But minus 14, I mean, you're not going to get many plus ratings out of this team anyway. But, when you look down the box score and you see Jay Crowder, and shout out to Marquette, let me tell you something. At least if, and it's a real long shot now for the Miami Heat to win the NBA Finals, if they win it, Between Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, and Jay Crowder, Marquette's got to be pumping out their chest like, you're welcome, NBA. You're welcome, NBA. But Bam Adebayo, only 8 points, only got to play 21 minutes. Duncan Robinson, 27 minutes and 0 points is not good. Tyler Hero, 14 points. All right, that's decent. But overall, Kendrick Nunn came out of nowhere, 18 points. You needed him. But I think what I am seeing is you've got a roster and players who my hope is, one, they're going to overcome these injuries in the Miami Heat. Two, they are realizing, as Joel and I talked about, you need more of a team effort out of the guys who, you didn't play in the Eastern Conference Finals. Most of the playoffs of the regular season, you weren't really in the rotation. Maybe you got some minutes a game here and there. The entire team is going to have to play perfect basketball in order to beat the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm not going to say it's over. No one should say it's over. The Heat fans down there, I'm sure they're, licking their wounds just like the players and saying, hey, it's only one game. And it is only one game. It is only one game. But you cannot have mistakes. You cannot have injuries. You need your entire team to play grade A basketball the rest of the way, because you get I'm going to say a D in game one. And I'm sure the Heat and Jimmy Butler is probably telling his team, hey, we did not play well. We just didn't. But with the injuries to Bam and the injury to Goran, they could be huge losses. But if they can turn it around, and I know they aren't just happy to be in the finals. They're not going to accept participation trophies. No one wants participation trophies, although, getting second place in NBA Finals, that's a pretty good participation trophy. If they aren't 100%, it's not a good look for the Heat to even think that they can win this NBA championship, because the Los Angeles Lakers, they just look so good. And I know even for the Heat, they're probably sitting there in that third quarter and just like, yeah, we're done. We're just not where we are. Coach Eric Spoelstra, at the post-game quote, we're much better than we showed tonight. You have to credit the Lakers, and we'll get to work for the next one. That's all you can do here. That's all you can do here, because you got till Friday. So you've got today, and then tomorrow, hopefully to rest up. Jimmy Butler twisted an ankle too. The whole team needs to just rest up, and hopefully they will do that. And on the Lakers side, LeBron James, you have to get a feel for how hard Miami plays. They smacked us in the mouth at the beginning. We got a sense of that, and from that moment, they start to play to their capabilities. And that's what LeBron James said after the game, and that's what we all saw, is the Los Angeles Lakers playing to their capabilities, and they blew them out. They blew them out. Now, in that blowout, the one thing I wanted to see was who of the who's who in the game one virtual clubhouse. And number one on that list is number 44, President Barack Obama. Now, it was cool to see him in the virtual stands. But at the same time, when they would show him, at least the first time when they showed him, he was talking so much. I couldn't tell, and I hope he was, maybe on a phone call with Shaq or James Worthy, who were, flanking him. But he was talking so much, I was more curious about who he was talking to and what he was saying. And I'm sure he was talking basketball. Everybody's waving. I'm looking at a little picture here. We had the greatness, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dirk Nowitzki. We had Bill Walton. We had Ray Allen, Paul Pierce sitting next to each other, which you will never see in real life. So I feel like somebody did that to be funny. Pau Gasol, Big Shot Bob, Dwayne Wade. Robin Roberts is in here. I was just excited to see all of the different fans here and celebrities. But I'd have to say my favorite was number 44. And not because of any political affiliation. He was probably the only one who, outside of Robin Roberts here, who wasn't a former player where it's just like, yeah, we expect to see you there. I want to see people there we don't necessarily expect to see there as fans. Like when Lil Wayne showed up as a Lakers fan, that was funny. But when we get into former players, I like, James Worthy's tweet, the president's running point, I'm open, Barack Obama. That's kind of cool. But, at the same time, if I'm in the virtual, and if I'm in a virtual seat, I want to see somebody that I don't expect. And maybe, Budweiser, you want to throw me a seat. No one would expect to see me there in the Ultra Clubhouse. So, yeah, I'll accept your seat. Thank you very much. You let me know what game you want me to be there. If not, then I want to see someone we don't expect. But it was still fun to see, all of the basketball greats from both sides of the Heat and Lakers organization there. That was fun. I have to admit that I enjoyed it. And, so we're off and running. And the Los Angeles Lakers, they are up 1-0 on the Miami Heat. That's about as we expected it to be, that they would go up on the Los Angeles Lakers. At least I did. Maybe you didn't, but that's what I expected to see, because realistically, we're talking about the best team in basketball. It's not the Clippers. And how crazy is that, right? We all thought that in many ways, it was going to be the Los Angeles Clippers. It was going to be Los Angeles Clippers. And it's not. It's not the Clippers. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's the way it's always been. And if this goes the way it continues to go, I expect for them we're going to crown them again. They're going to get their 17th, 18th, millionth NBA championship. And the Clippers are still at home with none. So there you have it. Segment 1 in the books for Just for Sport. We'll be right back after this short read here. And I'm staying on camera. Why not? BetMGM Sportsbook is live for legal betting in Colorado, Indiana, Nevada, New Jersey, and West Virginia. Are you betting on the NFL or the NBA this season? How about the French Open? Take some action to BetMGM. Why? Because for a limited time, BetMGM has a special signing bonus for the Props Network listeners or viewers. You're watching right now. Go to BetMGM, find something to bet on. All you have to do is create a new account at BetMGM and use code JustSport20 to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $500. $500. That's right. Just enter JustSport20. That's for Just for Sport. So, I get a little break here. And up to $500 bonus bankroll is yours. Then you'll enjoy all that BetMGM has to offer, like earning $10 free bets every week in the Money Monday Club, multi-sport parlay boosters, and the new Edit My Bet feature that allows players to change their bet tickets after they are submitted. That is my favorite feature, Edit My Bet. So try BetMGM with code JustSport20 now while the offers last. You must be 21 and over to bet. Do you or someone you know have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today. So my next order up for business here, as I am, basically, Haley's not here. And I miss her a lot. She's going to do the show here. But as I said, she's orbiting Earth and enjoying a little bit of Tokyo, Japan, Tokyo, and just Japan in general. But we're going to start here and keep her legacy alive. She texts me some topics, and she's like, "Hey, here's some things that I would love for you to talk about." And I said, "Okay, shoot them over." And we're going to go in order of what Haley wants to talk about. So she said 31-year drought for the Dodgers. Can they do it? We're going to talk about the Dodgers. But the first thing we're going to talk about are the Houston Astros. Why are they even in the playoffs? They shouldn't have been able to quietly get back in the playoffs. Okay? They cheated baseball for too many seasons because one is too many. And Rob Manfred let them off the hook. Don't tell me you needed to give them immunity so you could get down to the bottom of how they were cheating. That is bull. Because I know players talk. All right? There were players on those Astros teams of 17, 18, and 19 who are no longer on the Astros that you could have went to get answers. It was BS. Their punishment should be no playoffs. And yet here they are in the playoffs again, as if nothing happened. As if the fact that they didn't use technology and banging on trash cans to win a World Series title. And that's right, I'm a Nationals fan. I'm from DC, I'm from the DMV, and I'm happy that they were one of the teams that could beat the Astros. But the reason why they beat the Astros in many ways is not because they beat the Astros. Well, no, let me backtrack. Let me say yes, they beat the Astros. But there's also a level of the fact that the Astros got caught. And they had to tone down and cut back and take away the ways that they were able to cheat and win games, including, yes, I believe, okay, it's allegedly, but I believe wearing mics. Wearing, something that could electrically shock them to tell them what pitch was coming up next. That's inexcusable. And it's ridiculous to think that no matter what reasoning you needed to give them immunity, that you should have. Because I think it's not only unfair that they are in the playoffs right now, but the fact that no one even really cares about the MLB playoffs the same way that they do with the NFL right now. If you ask most fans, you got to be a baseball fan, and maybe that's just my opinion, that the baseball just isn't in the mainstream right now. People are like, yeah, what? They played 60 games? Okay. Yeah, they're trying to play playoffs. Okay? And not only are they playing playoff baseball, but the Astros are advancing. The Yankees won. The Rays won. And now we're in the ALDS. And here we still have the Houston Astros. And I just don't think it's right. I just don't think it's right. And the team that I am rooting for, as we, Haley said, can the Dodgers in their 31-year drought? Yeah, I hope so. And you know why? One, because I'm rooting for Clayton Kershaw. I like his game. I like his moxie. I'm rooting for Dave Roberts as a manager. I'm rooting for Mookie Betts. But the player I'm really rooting for, Joe Kelly. Remember him, the pitcher who got suspended for 8 games for really giving it to the Houston Astros and telling him what all of Major League Baseball, outside of all of these Houston Astro apologists and fans who try to act like, no, it was nothing. What are you talking about? We didn't really cheat the game. No. We won it fair and square. No, you didn't. Okay? Joe Kelly went out there and was throwing heat at the heads. And I don't like throwing heat. I don't like that about baseball. I don't like that about hockey, that they still fight. Okay, I think there's two of the things that should be done away with in sports. But I got to give it to Joe Kelly that Joe Kelly stood up. Realistically, to me, that was the only true retaliation the Houston Astros got. So, yeah, I want the Dodgers to win. I want the Dodgers to win. And I want them to play the Tampa Bay Rays, who I know that they have the Yankees number all season long. And for all of the history of these two teams playing, if there's one team that seems to have the Yankees number, is the Tampa Bay Rays. And why not? Let's just make it an all Tampa Bay sweep. All right? Congrats to the Lightning. They won. I guess if I want the Dodgers to win, I guess Tampa Bay can't win, but at least let's get them to the World Series. Let's get Tampa Bay to the World Series. Let's get the Bucks to the Super Bowl, although there's no way they can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But let's get the Tampa Bay Bucks to the Super Bowl. And then I guess there's no in basketball. We're already going to have the Los Angeles Lakers, but then we'll have Lakers and Dodgers. So then you've got the Lakers, all LA. You've got all Tampa. Why not? Why not? But I just don't like it. I don't like the Astros being there. Now, who's left? Okay. We got the A's, White Sox. First time the Sox and Cubs have both been for Chicago teams in Major League playoffs in 2008, but only like the third time since like baseball began. It's been a long time since both of these teams have both been in. I don't want the Brewers to win it. Okay, I'm basing all of this based off of heart. I used to live in Chicago, so I'm rooting for the White Sox. And then obviously I want the White Sox to beat the Astros. White Sox, make sure you're watching every Astro player and manager. Okay, on the other side, I want the Lakers to beat the Brewers. Okay, here's my thing, okay? So I can get a lot of stuff off of my chest here as we're talking sports. And it's in the moment. Ryan Braun, if this is his last run, then just let it be his last run. I'm sure many people remember when he said he didn't take steroids and said, I do not take steroids. I am an honest guy. I don't cheat the game. You did. All right. So goodbye, Brewers. San Diego Padres, St. Louis Cards, and by the way, the Dodgers lead 1-0. A's Sox series is tied 1-1. St. Louis leads the series 1-0. I would not be surprised if St. Louis wins that series. It's a 4-5 matchup. But San Diego Padres, shout out to my friend Shannon, who works for the Padres. They're kind of, who expected them to even be in the playoffs? They're kind of like a Cinderella story. I like that story. Cubs, Marlins at 3-6. The Marlins lead 1-0. Remember when we were doing this show and I was killing the Marlins for almost shutting down the MLB season and saying that the score was COVID-19 MLB 0? Well, here we are. The Miami Marlins, even at that time, were actually winning games. They're in the playoffs. Who expected that? That's another story that just is, it kind of has a Hollywood store ending if they were to somehow advance and win it all. Derek Jeter, the New York Yankees legend who not only quit the game, but went to run a Major League Baseball team. That would be kind of exciting. And then you've got the Atlanta Braves, who I actually used to work for. They lead the Cincinnati Reds 1-0. How amazing is that? We have MLB playoffs, and they're playing, and they are much shorter games. And today, 5 teams can advance to the ALDS because that's right, they're best of 3 series. So, who will be watching today? Maybe I'll watch. Maybe I'll peek in on a game or two, possibly. Who will win today? I say Dodgers win today. I say Padres win today. I say I'm taking the Cubs to win today, and I'm taking the Braves to sweep. And so, if I'm saying, okay, who am I taking in all of these teams to win? It would beg to differ that then I want to know, well, what are the odds for these teams to actually win these games? Right? That's what you want to know. How could you not want to know? So we're going to go right here to BetMGM and see what we've got here. As I am, sorry everybody, I'm sitting here and I can't believe this as we're live here streaming. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, all of my bets went away that I had right here. Okay, here we go. I'm getting them back up. Okay, MLB. Today at noon, we got the Reds at the Braves. Run spread. Braves at -5 at +150. The over-under at 7.5 runs at -110. We've got the money line for the Reds at +120. Braves at -135. I'm taking the Braves -1.5, and I'm taking the under at 7.5. Miami Marlins and Cubs is locked. I can't see the spread in total, but you can take the money line. I'm taking the Marlins at +160. I'm taking the Cardinals at +1.5 and the over at 8.5. So that's what I've got for today for Major League Baseball. And there you have it. All right, baseball's done. I'm going to take another break here. Ooh, it's a lot talking, for yourself for an hour, but it's fun. Here we go. If you're going to bet on the NBA Finals, then why not get some bonuses? Visit thepropsnetwork.com and find out about all the deals running at the top U.S. online sports books. Like right now at PointsBet, their Score First Insurance. If your NBA team, which is basically now the Lakers and Heat, scores first but loses the game, you can get your money back in free bets up to $50. This is just one of the sportsbook deals that you can miss out on if you don't stay tuned to the Sports Network. That's TPN. So check us out at thepropsnetwork.com and you never miss a bonus. Remember, it's 21 and over to bet. Do you or someone you know have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today. Okay, topic number 3 from Haley here. NFL has postponed the Titans-Steelers game. Do you think that it was the right thing to do? Will it rattle a team? How frequent do you think it will be? And does it change the complexion of the season? Now, that's a lot. Haley gave me a lot there. Let's start with one thing. Let's start with the first thing. First thing here, I have to say to the National Football League, you made the best decision ever. And I thought that the NFL was going to find a way to push through with the game. And who wouldn't, right? One, as the players and organizations, you want to play football. Titans organization, the Steelers organization, you want to play football, right? I get that. You're preparing for Sunday. As the fans, we want to see football, right? Look behind me. I want to see the Steelers play. I want to see them play football. And the league had a tough decision to make. What do we do here? Because we both know that as a country, we've got a problem with this pandemic. And we've got to find a way to ensure that we are taking this seriously. And they did that. They said, hey, we're going to pick the health of the organizations and the league over playing the game. Now, the best thing that I think they did, which is why I applaud them without saying that they were going to postpone the games or all of a sudden be in a situation where they had to basically start juggling games like basically that Major League Baseball had to do. They were in a situation where, oh, wait, with the Marlins, okay, if we postpone this game, we'll do some doubleheaders here and start juggling the schedule. They just said, let's push it back a day or two. We'll postpone the game till Monday or Tuesday. Let's see where the test results are. If you've got the money, then you allow yourself to, as an organization, to be able to do rapid testing, probably more than you or I could get as fans in terms of quick results, daily results, or hourly testing. But, hey, as Tony Soprano said, this is a business here, right? I believe that's what he said. Man, I haven't watched Sopranos in a long time. But that's what they did. And the Titans and the Vikings, who were the other organization involved, they suspended their in-person activities. The Titans closed their facility and are not practicing, or at least the last reports were we're not opening the facility until they could clean it and get it ready to go for another practice on Friday before they travel, or before they get ready for the next game. But the other part of it is that both of these teams are 3-0 and riding in the Titans and Steelers, riding a lot of momentum. And I would hate for these teams to lose that momentum. And I think one thing that the game was slated for Sunday at 1:00, and now we're waiting to see if and what time they will play on Monday and or Tuesday. But I think for these teams to have to postpone it to a bye week or something like that after they've been preparing for each other, I think the NFL, if they learn one thing from MLB, is maybe we don't have to do this all of a sudden. Now we've got to juggle all of this, all of the schedules, but maybe we can just juggle this one schedule. Now, I'm not quite sure in my mind, maybe the Vikings team or their game maybe could have been rescheduled too. But I guess in many ways the Vikings felt that, hey, our team is fine. They're going to the Texans. Both teams, sad thing is I hate the thought of saying both teams are 0-3. So not that means that they should go on ahead and play because they're 0-3, but, maybe the league is focusing on teams that are undefeated, that's more important than make sure they're healthy. And the 0-3 teams, let's just see how they do. Obviously these positive tests came from the Tennessee Titans side, so I'm sure that plays into it as well. But I am excited that, and I was pleased, not excited isn't the right word, but pleased with what the NFL decided to do. Now, looking at the NFL as a whole, I thoroughly have enjoyed the season so far, but not for the reasons that I think most people might say. I'm casually enjoying NFL football. I feel like there was a different level of hype during a normal season that every game still matters. but I feel like I'm just kind of enjoying watching football again and not necessarily for my team to win. And although all of us want our team to win, well, hey, look, bottom line is my Washington football team is in first place. Ding, ding, ding. 1-2. 1-2. Okay, but still, they're in first place. They're in first place. And my second team, so to speak, yeah, they're the Pittsburgh Steelers. I graduated from the University of Pittsburgh. My wife is from Pittsburgh. She's a big Steelers fan. So I root for the Steelers. And they are 3-0. It's been fun to watch them. They are atop the AFC North at 3-0. And I can't wait to see that next Baltimore Ravens game against the Steelers. That's going to be fun. But it's been fun to watch. And with each team, there's something else that I like about it. The Seattle Seahawks are 3-0. It's fun to watch Russell Wilson. Tampa Bay Bucks, shout out to Casey. They're 2-1. Casey Phillips is a dear friend of mine, and I wish the Bucks well, but I enjoy watching, the drama between Tom Brady and what the Bucks are going to do and what, Cam Newton is going to do with the New England Patriots. And you got to love that meme with Cam Newton sliding off the bench. If you don't have that on your phone, oh my gosh, that thing is too funny. The Bears are changing quarterbacks. They're going back to Nick Foles. Nick Foles, who won the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl. Let's see what he can do with the Bears. Mitch Trubisky. Boy, do I remember him as a UNC Chapel Hill destroy my Pitt Panthers' chances of getting the big bowl game. I guess that would have been 2017. Wow, my memory escapes me. But anyway, I've just been enjoying it. And I've been watching the Steelers and obviously the Kansas City Chiefs. It's neat to see the Las Vegas Raiders. How random is that? I was just thinking about that earlier today, how cool it is to see the Raiders playing in Las Vegas. Even the Las Vegas Aces are in the WNBA Finals, which I will be talking with Mati Ajavan later about the WNBA Finals. So it's been a lot of fun to watch the NFL and, just enjoying football. Just enjoying football. It's been great. And I guess it doesn't hurt when your team's winning. Another reason why it's been fun too. Okay, I'm taking another break here. And when I come back, we're going to talk some French Open. And we're going to talk about a sport that you probably don't care about. But and maybe that's tennis, frankly. But I like tennis. And it's been fun to watch. Just for sport, I'll be right back. Hope you're enjoying this live stream here. And yeah, my next read is gambling. What have I learned most about gambling? I have learned that it's okay. It's one of those things, as I feel like I'm doing another segment here, but I'm going to get to a read here. It always was kind of seedy, or, it was like you had to go off to Vegas, or, I wasn't that far from New Jersey, Atlantic City. I've been there a couple times. But you felt like you were doing something or being involved in something that not many people understood, or was like a kind of a underground thing. Hey, you bet. Who do you bet with? Well, now it's time to have a serious conversation about your bookies and illegal offshore betting sites. You don't need them anymore. You don't need them. You can get rid of them now. Cut ties. Legal sports books have a better user experience, more promos, bigger signing bonuses, and your money is safe. And you don't have to just go to Vegas. You don't have to just go to New Jersey. There are more places for you to bet. How awesome is that? And where do you find your legal sports book in your state? At thepropsnetwork.com. Where else? At the Props Network, we only have regulated U.S. sports books, And it's also where you'll find the best available bonuses. So you need to start using us. Start using the Props Network. Plus, you'll get great content like Just for Sport, like the Walk On, like In Action. We're just getting started. We're growing. So when legal betting comes to your state, make sure your first stop is thepropsnetwork.com. Remember, it's 21 and over to bet. And do you or someone you know have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER today. All right, so maybe you don't like the French Open, but I like the French Open. I like tennis. Okay, not to humble brag, but I played in college. I played Division I tennis. So I have an affinity for it. I love the sport. You can watch it live right now. I think that's one of the things that I have grown to enjoy as I dreamed of someday becoming a tennis pro, which I do have two little ones that maybe I will groom them to become, I'm going to let them do their own thing. But if they become tennis pros, that would be awesome. Because I used to dream of, starting your January down in Australia and working your way to, London for Wimbledon. And then you're making your way over to Paris for the French Open. Then you come to New York for the US Open. And in between, you're playing a tournament in some different countries. You're just all over the world. I used to dream of doing that. Thus, here I am doing Just for Sport, which I am very happy to do. But I still watch the game. And I really enjoy, because it is an international sport, with the time difference, there are chances that you can see tennis at different times when you didn't expect to see tennis. And that's what I enjoy the most about it. And that's what I get out of the sport right now is, I'm sitting here and I'm looking right now. We've got Pablo Carreno Busta. He's up 2 sets. It's a best of 5. He's up 2 sets on in his match. We've got Shapovalov in a 5-setter right now, up 4-3 in the 5th set. Grigor Dimitrov, he's playing right now. On the women's side, you've got some matches here too that are exciting. Sofia Kenin, she won today. Kvitova won today. Ostapenko won today. So I just enjoy watching tennis and watching it live and being able to wake up in the morning and watch tennis. If I wasn't doing this show, I'd probably be paying attention right now. One of my sleepers, Sloane Stevens, she's playing live right now. She lost the first set 6-4. She's up 5-4 in the second set. So hopefully she will find a way to close that out and win her set. But that's what I enjoy the most is a sport where, in my mind, you have it's just you and your opponent. That's what I love the most about it. That it is, it's all up to you. And I enjoyed a team game as well, but there's something about, when it's just you on that court and what you have to gut out to win if you're down, how hard you have to play. But I digress. That's what I enjoy most about it. But, going back to BetMGM, there's a lot more to bet on. Women's tennis is one of the more bet on activities in betting. But I'm going to start with the men here. And, I'll just mix it up. Okay, let's look here. You've got Garbine Muguruza versus Kristina Pliskova. You can take that bet here at plus 310 for Pliskova to win, or you can take Muguruza at minus 455. Now, Muguruza is one of the sleepers to win it all. But I like the long shot. Pliskova, is one of my sleepers. And so you could take her at plus 310. But you can also bet on the sets. You can just say, hey, Kristina Pliskova is going to win the first set. You can get that at plus 10. That's good money. That's good money there. And you can bet on some sports you didn't think you could bet on and still win money here. We've got Lloyd Harris against Matteo Berrettini. Now you could take Lloyd Harris at plus 675. Lloyd Harris at plus 675. That's some decent money you can get there. So I like the options here. There's more to win, more parlays that you can go with. If you wanted to parlay a bunch of different bets in there, that's what I like most about tennis. And obviously you can live bet right here if you wanted to. Denis Shapovalov versus Roberto Caraballos Baena. You can bet on the fifth set. You can bet for Caraballos Baena to win at plus 875, the fifth set, if you wanted to right now live. So I do like that as well. That's something that I enjoy. So there you have it. Tennis in a nutshell. And luckily, my winners, my picks to win it all are still alive, which I'm happy about. Novak Djokovic is probably going to be the challenger against my pick, which is Rafa Nadal to win it all. And then I've got Simona Halep. But the sad news is Serena Williams. I didn't pick Serena Williams to win it all. And I didn't expect her to win it all. But unfortunately, she had to bow out of the match, or the tournament, excuse me, not just the match, but she had to bow out of her match because unfortunately she had to withdraw. She has an injury that she's been dealing with. And it's sad to see her potentially not win it all. And I'm going to play devil's advocate here. It's my segment, devil's advocate. It's okay if Serena Williams doesn't tie Margaret Court's record. She still goes down as one of the greatest tennis players ever. And I would almost argue that she's greater than Margaret Court right now. That, if it's just a number, then let's just call it a number. And let's just say it doesn't matter. Bottom line is that Serena Williams is the best women's tennis player of all time. Margaret Court didn't face the kind of competition that Serena Williams is facing. She didn't span the kind of career, the decades of a career that Serena Williams had to play. As a youngster winning, when she was a youngster, and now having to face Naomi Osaka, Sophia Kenin, Simona Halep, right? And in between there, she had a Victoria Azarenka. She had a Sharapova, that were all players that were her challengers that just fell off. And Serena Williams is still standing. And so in my mind, Serena Williams with 23 majors is by far the greatest player of all time. I mean, when you look at her record, she's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Australian Opens, 3 French Opens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Wimbledons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 US Opens. Okay? She's won a gold medal. She started this run in 1999. 1999. That's when she started winning majors. Now, I will say this. probably you would say that most of Serena Williams winning is from um, really from Serena Williams, but Venus Williams. Having an older sister to push her, I'm sure it played a big role in that. An older sister to help her grow and understand how to win help. But I digress. Let's look right now at Margaret Court. Her career spanned 1960 to 1977. Her first championship, the Australian Open, was won in 1960. Her last championship was the U.S. Open, won in 1973. All right? So her career was, let's just say, somewhat shorter than Serena Williams. She didn't have to play the same kind of opponents. However, I will say that it is something that you have to give it to her. It is special, and I don't want to take away from Margaret Court. I just simply want to say that Serena Williams, in my mind, is hands down she is the greatest tennis player of all time. She is. And that's the way I'm going to leave it. That's it, folks. Now, the sport you didn't expect me to talk about, and you probably don't want to talk about, is the IPL, the Indian Premier League. Do you even know what that is? No, but I have a bunch of teams that I root for, and one of them is the Mumbai Indians, and the Mumbai Indians play in the IPL, and I'm rooting for them. And I would like to know how many of you follow the Indian Premier League, and if you don't, what should you know about the Indian Premier League? Well, they play cricket. That's what you should know. I would say that it's probably more than you know, that the Indian Premier League is, or excuse me, let me say cricket is a very well-known sport that you don't know about. And maybe you should, if you're ever looking for something new, check it out. Shout out to Ishan Kishan, who is one of the best players on the Mumbai Indians. And I wish them the best in the IPL. And I'll let you know when they are the champions. And I will put my Mumbai Indians jersey somewhere, because I need to be putting jerseys around here. So I'm going to do that. So there you have it. That is Just for Sport. I hope you have enjoyed watching. It's been an endeavor of mine to do this, and I enjoy doing it for the Props Network, and I hope we continue to grow here on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, and our viewership will grow. But you know what I'm going to say. Ciao for now.